The president has signed executive orders to force a stimulus. What are the details? What's it mean to you? Is it even legal? I got all those details coming up. My name is Mike Bernard. I am the host of the Wise Money Show. I'm also one of the certified financial planners right here at Korhorn Financial Group. Welcome to this channel. If you are new, hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and smash that thumbs up button. Okay, so I fully expected that the Republicans and Democrats would figure it out. Once again, there is a popularity contest coming later in the year, and they couldn't figure it out. They couldn't come together on a stimulus plan. And so what I did not fully anticipate, despite what the president said about, getting ready some executive orders, I did not think that was legal. I personally didn't. If it was, why would this have been the first time a president would have signed into law just sending some helicopter money to people? It certainly seems like that could have been a popular way to get votes in the past. But apparently what the president did over the weekend, they said has been approved and is legal, and we'll see. This is quite contentious, and so we'll see. But let me give you the details of what the executive orders are that are apparently going to help stimulate the economy. So the very first one is an extension of the unemployment benefits, the enhanced unemployment benefits. You know that part of the CARES Act, there was a $600 a week enhancement from the federal government on top of your normal unemployment that the state was providing at $600 every single week. Now that ran out a few weeks ago, the end of July, and the Democrats and Republicans could not compromise and figure out, well, what number should replace that 600? So it's been zero. Well, the executive order would actually make that, instead of 600, it'd be an extra 400. But wait, it's not that easy. President Trump apparently could come up with an extra 300 a month, and the executive order says states are required to use some federal funds that they're appropriated and add the additional 100 a month. So 300 a month from the Fed, 100 a month from the state, which is really federal money anyway, and that's how you'll get your extra $400 a week. That is quite bizarre. And again, I don't know if this is legal or not. Apparently, the funds that are set aside to do this, President Trump said it would be available, this would last through the end of the year or near the end of the year. But when some analysts looked at the funds that are being set aside for this, how long they would last under the current system, there's some speculation that these funds would only last for about a month or so. A month, 1 to 2 months is what it said. But within the executive orders is an extension of the additional unemployment benefits. But instead of 600, it'd be 400 if the states get on board. It'd be 300 if President Trump was just able to authorize this. The second and equally controversial part of the executive stimulus orders is a payroll tax holiday to employees. So this is the 6.2% of FICA. So FICA is 7.65%. 6.2% goes to Social Security, 1.45% goes to Medicare. Apparently, within the executive orders is a payroll tax holidays for employees to send the 6.2% to the Social Security fund for those that make basically $100,000 a year or less. You would be able to receive this holiday. However, it's not that easy. The tax is still due. Apparently, that's where the line is drawn, that the executive order cannot actually abate or forgive the tax. So the executive order just says employers stop withholding this money. And therefore, if Congress doesn't get around and actually remove the tax, then the employees would receive this extra money in their paycheck, but the tax would still be due when they file their taxes. What a disaster. What a disaster. If that's me, I'm not out there spending this money. And if that's you, if this thing does actually go through and your employer stops withholding your 6.2% that's supposed to go to Social Security out of your FICA, and all of a sudden your take-home pay goes up, don't spend that money. technically that's still Uncle Sam's money. So that does not stimulate the economy. It creates more confusion, which, as we saw with the PPP loan, part of the CARES Act, that is not a recipe for actually stimulating the economy. So to me, the second executive order, this is what Trump has been begging for all along from both sides: have a payroll tax holiday. This is his attempt to make that happen, but to me it is way too confusing and is not a stimulating benefit because the tax is still due. The third executive order as part of the stimulus plan is that those of you with federal student loans would not be required to make a payment through the end of the year, and the interest would be covered until the end of the year. I believe both Democrats and Republicans both like this idea. Democrats also wanted to forgive up to $10,000 of student loan balances. I think Republicans wanted to have something like that in their bill as well. I can't remember the details as I speak about this. However, the executive order states that if you have federal student loans, that they're not going to forgive a certain amount, but that your payment would be forgiven through the end of the year, and the interest would not be, the interest on those loans would be forgiven as well. And then finally, the big concern that I have is about these evictions. And we've got a very, very strong housing market, yet we have tons of unemployed individuals that say they're not sure how they can make their rent or their mortgage payment. And so the fourth executive order would be a moratorium on evictions as well, which I can understand and I can appreciate for those of you that are really hurting. But if I'm the landlord, then I'm the bank, I'm not sure how this works either. But this would at least keep people in their homes, and it would keep evictions at least held off through the end of the year. So is this legal? I don't know. I don't know. I would have thought if it was, other presidents would have done this to try to get votes or become popular. But apparently, Secretary of Treasury Mnuchin said that it is, that they've checked it through legal, and apparently it is. So I'm not sure. We will see what fireworks happen this week as to whether this starts being implemented or if the whole thing gets put on hold as they check what the validity of this thing. I personally doubt that it will stand, especially some of the confusing things. As an employer myself, I'm not sure I feel comfortable just not withholding the Social Security tax for individuals, just paying that out in their salaries, hoping that they will withhold it themselves. So there's parts of this that give me pause that I wonder whether this will actually pass. We'll see. I'm assuming we'll know more later this week. To me, whether it's legal or not, I am scratching my head as to why, right? This certainly does circumvent the balance of power and the dysfunction that we've seen. And I've never really seen Congress be truly functional here, but I do wonder, the true reason for this. I mean, obviously people are hurting, but it's supposed to be Congress that is coming up with these sorts of plans. So I think that also casts just this doubt over the entire, each of these four stimulus plans. So for you, you're not asking me to debate whether or not this should be allowed or not. I'm simply just saying, well, what should you do about it? I would not assume this is final yet. I would not assume that the unemployment will get an enhancement. I would not assume that you're going to have this payroll tax holiday from Social Security. If it's my student loans, I would assume that I've got to start paying them. So just wait on accepting this as truth and implementing it in your financial life. And I'm assuming we'll know more later this week or coming up in the next week. If we don't, then I would assume this is going to pass, but gosh, there's got to be more clarity to come. So never a dull moment here as we try to navigate the financial chaos of the coronavirus and this recession. As always, be up to speed with your certified financial planner. If you don't have one, you can contact one on our team. You can find us online, corehorn.com, that's Corehorn with a K, or give us a call, 574-247-5898. All right, there you have it. Go out and take your next wise step in your financial life.